Hello everyone, I thought it'd be great to do a plant of the day video, and I am a prayer plant fiend. I love prayer plants in general and am a real sucker for Calathea, so I thought it'd be great to do a Calathea video. Today I'm going to do a highlight video on care of this beautiful Calathea Maui Queen. Now this Calathea is a little bit more of the rarer prayer plants, Calathea plants, but they are being seen more and more in big box shops. And as soon as that happens, they're no longer rare anymore. But she just has been a growing fiend for me. She has grown so much since I brought her home. And I feel out of all of my prayer plants, Calatheas in general, she is the easiest going plant that I have. She just has this beautiful variegation on her leaves that go right down the center vein of the leaf. Underneath, I don't know if you can see it, beautiful, like a dark purple blushing underneath the leaves. Just adds to the beauty of the fact that they move their leaves up and down with the cycling of the light during the day. So you get to see this during the day in the light. And at night, you see all that beautiful blushing of purple as they lift their leaves, almost in prayer. So in general, prayer plants, they have a pretty specific care that they like to have. Most of the prayer plants like bright indirect light. This plant is no different, loves bright indirect light. Even medium light it will do well in. I have found though in my home, but this plant does fine in medium to low light as well. She is under a grow light, but the grow light is pretty far up from her, and she doesn't get a huge amount of bump from that light in general. She does get some reflective lighting from the grow lights around her. So I would say she's probably medium to low light, and she's still putting out lots of leaves for me, and still has the beautiful variegation on it, the beautiful markings, along with the purple on the back, showing me that she's getting more than enough light for her. Now, that's also taking into consideration the light from the bay windows that I have over here, the grow lights that are surrounding her. So in my home, in my environment, that is enough for this plant. Everyone's environment is going to be different, right? The lighting and whatnot. So you just have to listen to what the plant is telling you in general and then adjust accordingly. I always do that with all my plants. If they're letting me know, you're not giving me enough light, they start to revert. The leaves start to become smaller as they're coming out, then I know either they're root bound or they need more lighting. So as far as water, please remember with any prayer plant, this one is no different. They don't like any kind of elements, any kind of minerals in their water. I would say it's more the minerals than the chemicals, but in general, stay with distilled rainwater. It's mother's milk to plants. All plants love it. That's what they would get in the environment where they come from. This plant would get it as it would come through the canopy, where it would be in the tropical rainforests on the forest floor. So you can't go wrong with filtered water either. If you give it any kind of water that has any kind of minerals in it, you will get browning to the tips of the leaves. That's just how it goes. If the humidity drops below where the plant likes to be, you'll get browning tips in the leaves. That's just how it goes. You want to make sure this plant doesn't like to have wet feet. You always want to make sure that the plant has plenty of drainage holes, so it can spread its toes, so to speak. All plants like to do that. They start to grow the roots out looking for further places to grow. If you water the plant and it has, room, an avenue at which to get the water to drain out, it prevents overwatering and it prevents the plant. It just shifted in the pot and kind of startled me a bit. That was pretty funny. It prevents it from getting root rot and just kind of sitting in a soppy mess, and it allows the roots the ability to oxygenate so that it doesn't get any bacterial overgrowth and then rot. So that's always a good thing. You don't want to get root rot. It's not fun. Let's see. You want to give it a nice well-draining mix, but also a mix that's going to also hold on to some moisture. You can buy a mix from Repot Me or somebody local that sells, mixes specifically mixed for plants. If you want to make your own, you would take some peat moss, perlite, maybe some orchid bark, mix it in with your soil mixture, just at the right amount where you would be able to get plenty of drainage, but also hold on to some of that moisture as well. You never want to let this plant completely dry out. You want to find a delicate balance between a moist soil and not overly sopping soil. So I think that's where these plants kind of get a bad rap. I let this one dry out just a little too much last week, and she threw a little bit of a fit. She started killing off the corners of these leaves because she got too dry. You can see right there. She kind of gave me a fit. So, do I think that takes away from the beauty of the plant? No. Do I feel bad that I stressed her out a bit? Yes. So you really have to be on top of prayer plant care, especially Calatheas in general. Even though she's one of my easiest going Calatheas, they know what they like. They're beautiful, and they're not afraid to let you know what they want. As far as humidity, they like to stay around 55 to 65%. If you give them a little bit more than that, they'll do just fine. If they get too high, I find that Calatheas can get kind of a moldy issue on their leaves, be more prone to maybe bacterial infections. So you want to be careful not to give them too much humidity. Temperature-wise, this plant in general, I feel, likes to stay between 65 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit. If you live anywhere else in the world, that would be 18 to 27 degrees Celsius. So they don't like it too cold. Has this plant dropped into the 50s, into 62? Absolutely, for a long period of time, and no. It will tolerate it for shorter periods of time. If it stays there too long, it's going to stress the plant and it's going to let you know it. So the plant and all of these beautiful prayer plants that are usually have you grabbing them because they're so gorgeous, they are pet safe and they're child safe. So that's awesome. You can have them anywhere in your home and not worry about a cat nibbling on it, or a dog like my Ugo who has never touched a plant. That doesn't mean he won't. I don't take that for granted. I always keep an eye on him and keep the super toxic plants in areas where he doesn't have the best access to them, just in case he might lose his mind one day and be like, ooh, that looks like grass, right? They are prone, prayer plants in general, to spider mites. Yeah. So you really want to watch out for that, especially that's why you really shouldn't let them dry out too much, because spider mites, they like a drier environment. They do like this type of leaf and this plant in general. So if they get too dry and the plant gets stressed and send out stress hormones, spider mites will find this plant like a moth to a flame. That's just how it is. And then you'll have to treat the issue before it spreads to, if you have a collection like mine, before it spreads to any other plants in your collection. Mealybugs love prayer plants. I currently am coming on the other side of a mealybug infestation in one of my Calathea and one of my prayer plant areas. I was joking around calling it mealybug corner. I was not happy with it, but that's it. I mean, it is what it is. If you have plants in your environment, at some point something's going to get transferred into it. Somebody brushes up against something, gets it on their clothes, a pet or a person touches the plant and brushes up against it, or the plant for any reason gets stressed and sends out those hormones. More likely, if there's anything in the soil that was just hanging around and didn't get activated or get the right signal, might hatch, and then there you go. Now you have a situation. So spider mites, mealybugs, thrips, love everything. God, please, I never want thrips. I was doing a video the other day and I thought I saw a thrip on my philodendron Brazil on one of the under leaves, and it was freaking soil. I panicked. I saw 2 or 3 like dark spots. I'm like, God, is that thrip? And it was soil, thank God. But I don't want thrips, and neither do you. So try and meet the care of your plants. Don't let them get too stressed. Make sure you're preventative and don't go romping around on a hike and then come in and start touching all your plants because you're just asking for it. You are, and you will get it. If you happen to get an outbreak like I did, give the plant a really good shower, isolate it. I treated all the plants that were anywhere close to the plant that I found the mealybugs on, and then I found mealybugs on 2 of the other plants. One just had 1 mealybug. I haven't seen anything on it since. The other one had 4 or 5. Haven't seen any more on that plant either. So if you catch it early enough and you're on top of it, that's great. I gave them a good shower. I did an alcohol swab of 70% alcohol and killed the ones that I saw. Let that dry. I treated it with my my mixture of Dawn soap, neem oil, and distilled water. Sprayed it down real good, let it dry, and then 7 to 10 days later, I put beneficial bugs on there and continued to look for any mealies that I could find. Every time I find a mealy, it tends to be less and less on the plant. So I'm going to continue to look on that plant up to 8 weeks, making sure that consistently 4 weeks in a row, if I don't see mealies, I'm going to feel like, yeah, I've won the war, right? So I would say 12 weeks in, probably by the end of the summer, I will feel pretty good that my mealybug corner and my variegated Maranta is mealy free. So it's better to be preventative than coming around on the end of fighting the good fight like I've had to fight myself, fighting the good fight in my, prayer plant corner over here. But I hope you found this video entertaining and informative. If you did and you liked it, feel free to like and subscribe to my channel. That helps my channel grow. If you share it with others, it helps others, who might be struggling with some plant care, what to do with their plants. It helps them in their plant parent journey, and that's what this channel is here for, to support each other, to help each other grow as plant parents. If you have this plant, let me know. Let me know if you have any other care tips you found have worked for you. That way we can help each other grow as a community in plant care. Until next time, keep giving all your plants lots of green, planty love.